Hello and welcome to the Green Machine live, your Irish football news and nostalgia, where you, the fans, can have your say. Lots to discuss on tonight's shows. We bring you the latest Irish updates from a weekend of FA Cup action. We'll discuss Evan Fergusons' incredible week, which saw him score his first Premier League goals. And we'll also chat through the latest transfer news, including Aaron Connolly's loan move from Brighton to Hull City. Lads, we're back. How does it feel? We are back. How does it feel, lads? Back every Sunday, 9:30 on our new YouTube channel and our Facebook. Every Sunday, lads, 9:30. No more of this 11 o'clock nonsense, eh?
I know, yeah, it's great. We can actually get to bed at a reasonable time. Because, you know, I like to go to bed at, 9 p.m. or whatever. I mean, Martin, you're probably going to be up late tonight watching Roy Keane and playing with...
Jared Vaseline.
Yeah. I don't need to elaborate on that. We all know what Martin be at.
Nick does like to get his early nights in because, you know, he goes to the gym the next morning, you know, to meet his gym buddy, Kenny Cunningham.
Mr. Cunningham.
Yeah.
Mr. Cunningham.
Mr. Cunningham. One of my friends, he just randomly texts me how much he dislikes Kenny Cunningham randomly, and I stick up for him. But look, enough name dropping. We're not another page, I suppose.
Please elaborate, Nick.
Please, you've gone early there.
Yeah.
We're not even 2 minutes into it, and Nick's gone straight into it. Well, if you're watching at home, we do appreciate it. Do get involved. Have your say. Leave a comment. Same rules apply. Say what you want to a degree. No abuse, though. Unless it's towards the other two lads, not me. Tell me how much you love me. I've got a bow tie, lads. What do you think? Bit of class, adding a bit of class to the podcast, eh?
A hangover from the awards show. So,
the awards show, actually. Going to do a little thing. It's actually available if you're watching on our YouTube channel. The first inaugural, they mean the same thing. Inaugural podcast awards. I did have to take a little bit out of it because UEFA wouldn't let me use something that didn't belong to me.
We had, and again, I don't mean to sound like another page, but we'd 500 views after an hour, and it got taken down.
That's why we got taken down.
Now we have about 17.
Yeah, we actually got about 1,000 views in total, but it looks really bad. Then, right, we were 500 odd, got taken down, put up a second time, 300 and something, and then all of a sudden it was down to like 1 or 79. I was like, what?
Everyone listening is going to be like, yeah, whatever.
Honestly, but anyway, listen, we're going to move on to our first subject, our boys in green. But before we do that, guys, remember, leave a comment. Have your say. We are the most fan-friendly, of course we would say that, interactive Irish podcast. Right. Our boys in green. That is the wrong one. Shh. It's a good thing we're not live.
Oh, wait.
There we are. That's the proper one. Right, we're over to Nick. Nick, don't mess it up. It's your big chance, pal, for an FA Cup edition of our boys in green. And let me get the graphic.
In 15 seconds, yeah. Yeah, so I suppose just some of the stats from the FA Cup week. A lot of Irish involvement, huge amount of Irish involvement, a lot of obscure names, but I suppose some of the more familiar ones that I suppose that we're going to see here today. So Alan Brown, I don't like to give him any acknowledgement, but I have to today. So he scored a goal from Preston North End. They beat Huddersfield Town 3-1. Shane Long, I think he needs to get back in the Ireland squad, Martin, I think. So last minute goal for Reading in their 2-0 win versus Watford. CJ Hamilton, I don't know if you saw the goal, lads, but an absolutely phenomenal goal. Great little volley off the left foot, some great build-up play. He scored for Blackpool in their 4-1 win over Nottingham Forest, and Andy Lyons made his debut for Blackpool. Very, very impressive. Very, very impressive in that game. So great to see him making his debut after
I interviewed him.
Shamrock Rovers. Did you?
I did, and
I'm surprised you remember, Dave, because you couldn't remember Joe Redmond or Rory Gaffney, could you?
Or Andy Lyons. I did actually interview him. I swear, I interviewed him. The FA got in touch. I don't know where it is. I'll probably never see it again. Sorry,
you'll never see it again. Yeah, so just to continue on there. So Promise Almashere, great to have another former Bohemians player score a goal. Not that I like to mention Andy Lyons much more. Promising lad. So his goal for Fleetwood Town, or Fleetwood Crack as I like to call them, in their 2-1 win over QPR. Thomas O'Connor, good Kilkenny man, Martin, he scored a goal for Wrexham in their 4-1 win over Coventry City. That was a big giant-killing upset. And then we turn our attention to Derby, I suppose. James Collins and Jason Knight both scoring for Derby in their 3-0 win over Barnsley. Just before we kind of move on to the SPL, because I know there's a couple of notes in there, Joel Bagan sent off for Cardiff in their 2-2 draw with Leeds. Did you see the red card, lads? Did you see the handball? Save it the season, I think.
I thought it was very harsh.
I mean, it's a good save. I mean, a lot of people. I mean, they were tipping Bagan to come in at left back for the seniors, weren't they? And he hasn't played really this season. But I mean, he's come on. He's shown that he can do a stint in goal. I think Leeds actually missed that penalty, but then they scored. They scored one late on. And the man who actually scored the equaliser for Leeds, Sonny Perkins, he's Irish eligible. His dad actually played for the Ireland under-21s, and there was a bit of a report. Well, not a report. There was a tweet from Neil O'Riordan of The Sun saying that somebody in the know, a very good connection, believes that Sonny Perkins is open to playing for Ireland. So just a little obscure one, but we could have a future Ireland international there on the score sheet today. And Paddy Madden, who we did a little feature article on over the weekend, he scored a goal for Stockport County as they beat Walsall 2-1. And just another little thing of note, Aidan McGeady and Ross Tierney both featuring in the SPL. McGeady, his first start for Hibs this season since doing a really, really bad injury. He got an assist for Hibs in their 3-2 win over Motherwell. And Ross Tierney scoring for the opposing side. So that's our boys in green for the weekend, the first one of 2023.
Wow, that's what are we supposed to do for the next 7 minutes, lads?
Sorry, to be fair, it's very.
It is a good start, though. It is a very, very good start. It's FA Cup weekend always kind of brings up those obscure players, doesn't it? Because even going back, if you throw the graphic up there again, David, and this is something that I think is really, really important to plug. We have 3 former Bohemians players scoring. So lads, I'm gonna get my little 2 pence in there. It's a great day for Bows. One ex-Rovers player playing, but look, he started off at Bows, so we'll claim that.
And also, actually, a little bit of news. Did you know that James McLean played his 150th goal for Wigan?
150th goal? I didn't know you could play goals.
Game! Oh my God! Game! Oh.
He's done well this season. He's done very well this season, James, hasn't he? Very, very well. Very good last 2 years. And he'll probably get his 100 cap this year, won't he?
Yeah, 100 missiles thrown at him by...
I think a couple of notable things there for me from the list. I think, Shane Long scoring, I think that's his, many, many years now he's been involved in English football and in the domestic game. And, he's scored every year, every season now. So it's quite a record. I know he's getting on a bit and, but fair play to him. He took the goal really well. Actually, I've seen someone tweet and said it reminded him of kind of the ball going through against Germany when he finished. So that was pretty good. And, we have spoken on previous podcasts about the importance of the FA Cup. Adam Ida played again today. Omar Bamadeli played for Norwich. Very, very important. I've seen Cardiff. I know we've covered them. They drew 2-2, perhaps because Callum O'Dowda didn't start. He came off the bench. You can, if anyone playing podcast bingo, 2 minutes 57 for the Callum O'Dowda mentioned there.
Do you know what, lads? Instead of having a swear jar, which we should have anyway, we should have a fucking Callum O'Dowda jar for Martin.
Oh, you used the bad word.
I know. I'm doubling up. I'm doubling up, lads. I'm doubling up.
By the way, Keane, if you're listening, Martin's son wasn't me, so you don't have to give it to me. Give it to Nick for swearing.
He's still going to blame you. But funny enough, lads, Shane Long hasn't really lost any pace, has he? Because, I mean, there was a clip at the start of the season, and I think it was an assist, or maybe it was like, I like to call them secondary assists. I'm a little bit hipster like that,
There he is.
But he chased down he chased down a long ball. No pun intended. But the pace from him, he just hasn't lost the pace. He's a guy who's really looked after himself, I have to say. And look, he was never that prolific, but in terms of athleticism, I mean, he's 35. He's still quicker than a lot of lads in the Ireland team. I mean, Martin, I wouldn't have him back. And I know, Martin, you were slagging me a bit, but if he gets a bit of a run, because he scored his annual goal, could he be an option? Because, we're going to need a bit of experience against the likes of the French.
Do you want to know why he hasn't lost his pace? Because he gets a lot of rest.
Yeah, I
on
think
the bench.
the day's gone for him, sadly, Wood Island. But like, had a brilliant career for us as well. You know, all the hype around 2016, he was our main man going into that. But I think, the day's gone for him. But I still think, he has got influence in Irish football. I'd like to see him kind of, perhaps he is doing his coaching badges. But yeah, he could easily be around the squad though as a kind of striker coach. And that's what's happening now, isn't it, with a lot of football?
You know, Jason Knight actually got his. Hold on, I shared this actually.
He did, yeah.
Jason Knight played his 145th match for Derby. He's only 21. I shared that from Irish Propaganda on Twitter. There you go, giving him a little bit of a little bit of a Davy dust. Bit of Davy dust, a bit of Lansdowne Road dust on there. In case you're wondering, actually, we should remind people there will be an audio version of this podcast. So if we are trying to cater for everybody here when we put up a picture, we do try to describe it. Right. Should we move on to the transfers, lads? I think that's it. Well, actually, Keane, speaking of boys in green, in a couple of years, Martin, he got a couple of goals, didn't he? Come on, help us out.
He did, yeah, he did. That's his 15th goal this season for Enfield Town, under 11s. They got a fantastic coach, me. So give myself a shout out as well. But yeah, unlucky today, lost 4-2, atrocious conditions. But yeah, sponsored by, I've got to get my hand right there. Look, sponsored by ourselves, the Green Machine
podcast,
supporting grassroots football in London.
Not Ireland.
Well, we will develop in time, I'm sure. But yeah, I'll give him a shout out because he said he's going to subscribe and listen. And I encourage everyone else to subscribe as well.
Yes, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our Facebook, please. Before we move on, I'm actually going to share. Here we go. Have I got it? Yes, I have. Our YouTube channel, lads. Give us a shout. Come on. /youtube.com/@Lansdowne Road-GM. Give us a shout, lads. Come on, get those numbers up for the love of God, please. Please. Do you know, actually, I on Twitter, I'll cite the social media watch, actually. We'll move it on. I suppose it's a bit more it's a bit more suitable for that. So, lads, let's get on and have a look at the transfer situation, which is probably just as bleak as the our boys in green situation. Here we go. Kelleher made a move, not that one. His brother, Fiacre. Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
Fiacre Kelleher, the brother of Queeveen, has moved from Bradford City to Colchester United over in Essex. Don't like Colchester. I've got my reasons. Darrell Horgan has gone on loan from Wycombe Wanderers to Stevenage Borough. He didn't feature today. Any Aston Villa fans out there? Oh dear. Kenny McCoy, if you're watching. Kevin Long, remember him? Burnley to Birmingham City. Fair, I suppose. That's kind of where he's at. David Harrington sounds more like a golfer, actually. He's gone from Cork City to Fleetwood Town. Now, what was it you call it, Nick?
Fleetwood Crack.
Fleetwood Crack.
Well, they've loads of Irish lads now, so Fleetwood Crack.
But I thought you meant I had a drug problem. Or...
Well, maybe. I mean,
well, there has been some news about Irish players. Move on.
Rory Feely has gone from Bohemians to Barrowtown. Where's Barrowtown?
Kind of north, isn't it? Brian was explaining this to me because we were wondering how Rory Feely actually managed to get a transfer to England.
Ooh,
but anyway,
explained.
Well, no, wouldn't be my favorite Bows player, but not my problem anymore.
Moving on again. Neil Byrne, Tranmere Road to Stockport County. That's just down the road, isn't it? That's where. Yeah, it's just down the road. Neil Byrne. Okay, he likes it rough, I suppose.
Good Portmarnock, man.
Yeah. Nice place, Portmarnock. Trevor Clark has gone from Bristol City to Shamrock Rovers on loan. And Aaron Connolly has gone from Brighton to Hull City. Why have I put Hull City? Oh, my God. Hull City on loan. Hull City, that is their new name now. We're not actually going to change that. So, yeah, all the Irish players making the big moves there, lads. Oh, dear. Go on.
Yeah, I was just going to come in. Just one thing. I know we probably didn't cover it. We won't cover it on Social Media Watch, but it's worth checking out on Twitter. I don't know who. I think it's Birmingham City's official announcement of the Kevin Long transfer was done very well. It was like the thing from Home Alone 2 when they lose Kevin at the airport and they hand Kevin his bag, and then it's just him at the end of it. It's very good, very clever.
Didn't see that. You could have said that for a social media watch. You
Sorry,
could
I
have.
don't really want to see it.
I could have suggested it. I know that, but
You could have suggested it for social media watch.
Yeah, I know. We'll share it after. Don't worry.
No,
No,
we're not going to share it.
Taking the good, Evan Martin.
Some rumours going about. Obviously, yesterday Liverpool got a well-deserved and justified 2-2 draw with Wolverhampton Wanderers. Caoimhín Gallagher is not the FA Cup goalkeeper for Liverpool. I shared a post there yesterday. Most people agree with it. It is time for him to get a transfer of that club. Yeah. He's too good for that. Final word on that, Nick. Last couple of seconds.
If he's not the FA Cup keeper, it's his season over unless Alisson gets injured. Even alone, just to bridge the gap between now and the summer. I don't know where he'd go. I don't know who's interested in him, but absolutely he needs to get out of Liverpool at this stage.
100%. The last player we did mention on a transfer is obviously Aaron Cullen. Oh my God, I'm having a nightmare, lads. Going from Brighton to Hull. Well, there he is. He's gone. He obviously likes the seaside. He's gone from Galway to Brighton to Venice, and now he's gone up to Hull. So he clearly likes water, this lad. But is he floating? Is he sinking? Or is he swimming? Lads, we put a graphic up. This has to be, Martin, we'll let you come in on this one. This has to be his last chance. How many bites of the cherry is this guy going to have?
I think it's very worrying, isn't it? It didn't work out for him over in Italy. He seems to have more tattoos than he scored goals in recent years. It is a big concern. I mean, he played quite well, didn't he, when he come back into the under-21s under Nick's favourite manager, Jim Crawford. And
we've already mentioned Alan Brown. Can we not? Blood pressure. My fucking Fitbit's going to explode here.
But it's a strange one, isn't it? Even getting a transfer to them. And I know there's a lot of kind of, reference on it to the move and, why are we being so hard on him and stuff. It's just disappointing as Ireland fans. He promised so much. It kind of went to his head a little bit. I know we're speculating on an awful lot, but you can only judge him on what you see on social media and actually what he does in games. And I was hoping the under-21s was going to be a kickstart for him going back down to that level and that key playoff game. And he never really kicked on from there, even transfer-wise. I think the FAI, Stephen Kenny and Jim Crawford have given him chances and he's mad to play apparently, but he's not actually showing that, I don't think, in how he's living his life and conducting himself. This is last chance to Loon now, and I think he's in big danger of just drifting out of the game in a way, because that may well be his level, Hull. Let's be honest. I mean, we get overexcited about these Irish players when they do well because we want them to do well.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But, I just think I've never really seen the kind of level-headedness and the groundedness from him that I see now of Evan Ferguson or even Bazunu when they made the breakthrough. You hear them in interviews. It's a lot more calmer. It's a lot more professional. Anything I've seen of him in interviews, and we've watched a few, mediocre ones he's done in the past as well. But he's done some interviews and stuff, and it just doesn't really. He never follows through with it, and he's in danger of being like a Stephen Ireland, I think, but not even at that level. He's just going to waste his international career, and he might actually waste his professional career in football. Fantastic opportunity, but he's just not living the right lifestyle, I don't believe. From what I know and what I see.
Yeah, what do you make of it? I mean, I think Martin's touching on some good points there. I mean, how many chances is this guy going to get?
It's frustrating because he's so talented. I mean, he's so talented. I mean, he's... it might be a strange comparison, but I remember watching him in the Toulon tournament. Do you remember when we went to that? And he just reminded me of a right-footed Damien Duff. Now, that was underage level. And we could see when he did drop back down to underage level, he was far more comfortable. Mentality is a huge thing. Martin touched on it there. You look at Gavin Bazunu, you look at Nathan Collins, even Troy Parrott, the kind of narrative from them, there is follow through. You can see that they're altering their game and that they're trying to push themselves. With Connolly, there's been very, very little evidence kind of on the pitch. And that's frustrating because, as I said, his movement, his pace, his finishing, he's a very, very talented guy. And I mean, he went to Middlesbrough last year, didn't he? It didn't work out. He's gone back to the Championship. He didn't, and he's gone to Venice. I have a feeling that there were injury issues at the start of the season. I doubt he had any interest in learning Italian. I know a lot of training sessions on the continent are done through English, but I'd say that was a massive factor as well. And I mean, he's just gone missing for the last 6 months or so. And look, it's a Championship team. The Championship is a far better league than Serie B. And I mean, Hull are kind of a inconsistent side, aren't they? But I mean, we'll see how he goes. I mean, in terms of being last chance saloon, he's 22. You never know.
23 in a few days.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. He could come back in a few years, but I mean, it's difficult to know. I mean, at the end of the day, I find it hard to believe that he's still technically a Premier League player, but he really does need, yeah, but he really does need to hit form. He really does need to hit form, because I honestly think, as I said, I look at some of our kind of wide forwards, I look at some of our strikers, in terms of ball control, in terms of a lot of the technical stuff, he's one of the better players we have. He just isn't doing it consistently, and he just isn't playing enough. So we'll see how he goes. We'll give him a chance. We'll give him a chance, and we'll hope for the best for him.
Okay, no, absolutely. You know, and just to wrap it up and move on, but you know, for me, Stephen Kenny, I think he said he was people thought that Troy Parrott would step up first from his under 21 squad, and actually Stephen Kenny said at the time, in fact, Aaron Connolly, for me, is probably the next one to step up. And then he went on, he scored 2 goals against Spurs for Brighton in the Premier League, and everyone raved about him. We did. We were guilty of it, and that's road too. However, for me, before it all really came to light, I knew he was in trouble when Stephen Kenny had him nowhere near the Ireland squad. Nowhere near. And this is Stephen Kenny when Shane Duffy's form was through the floor, you know, because he was having his own issues. But it wasn't an attitude issue. It was kind of personal. You know what I mean? Like, it's different. It's like one's attitude. One guy's having a tough time, we want to keep you, and we know what you delivered. The other guy, your just attitude is just horrible. And I knew that there was something not quite right. And listen, you know, we're probably getting a bit of flack now from people watching us. Blog Irish, isn't it? Blog Irish. If you're watching us there, I know some folks there might have a little go at us and a nibble for, you know, not getting behind players blindly. You know, we'll get behind players when it's merited, but, you know, I think some need to boot up the arse every now and again. And we all want them to do well. Absolutely. We want Aaron Connolly flying on all cylinders, but if you're not doing it, you're not doing it. But anyway, we'll see how that one pans out. We're all cheering for you, Aaron, if you're watching. I know you're not.
It's a good move. It's a good move at the end of the day.
Great move.
Yeah.
He's done well. And we really hope it works out I really hope it works out for him. But anyway, we're going to move it on, lads, to another player who's also at the start of his career, but that's actually not. He's been around quite a few years, caused a bit of controversy. That is young Evan Ferguson. Look at him there. Isn't he gorgeous? Yeah, look at him there. Big fella. That's him scoring his first goal in the Premier League against Arsenal. And during the next game, actually, and there he is scoring a 4-1 hammering of Everton last week, I think it was, at Goodison Park. Nick, Evan Ferguson started at your club. He's 14 years of age, caused murder. I think it was against Chelsea, was it? Or was it against Chelsea?
I was actually at that game, and I mean, I actually couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe he was in the squad, first of all, because I mean, I would have been quite familiar with a lot of the younger lads. I couldn't believe, but when he came on, he was excellent. He was very gangly, you know, very, very gangly, but very, very physically able. And he actually played extremely well. And I mean, it's funny because he's at the same club as Aaron Connolly. And if you look at Ferguson, I think we have to be very, very patient with him, because there's such a rawness to Ferguson. And at the moment, I mean, look, he's getting into great positions. He's scoring goals. There is a little bit of a sloppiness to his game because he's so raw, and we have to be really, really patient. We have to be so patient with him. He can be so good for a couple of reasons. First of all, he's really physical. Second of all, he's technically excellent. And third of all, he's got really, really good guidance from his old man, Barry. You know, Barry was an ex-pro, played for Coventry, played for Bowes as well. He'll be guiding him, and he'll know exactly what mistakes not to make. I'm not saying Barry made mistakes, but he went over to England when he was young. He forged out a career for himself. And Evan himself does seem to have a really, really, really good head and the shoulders. And as we said a minute ago, it's all about mentality. It really is about mentality, and it's about your approach and your professionalism. But we have to be so patient with him, because there's such an evidential rawness to Ferguson. He could get a couple of more goals this season, but if he doesn't score from now until the summer, we don't need to panic. I think that's really, really important for fans to keep in mind.
Yeah, I'd agree completely with that. I think this is brilliant to see. Like we are big kind of supporters of the Irish lads, and he's so young, so raw, like Nick said. I think it was very clever of Stephen Kenny to bring him into the last squad and cap him. Not that he was going anywhere, but just to give him that experience around the squad. Seems very, very popular at Brighton already. Because he came off after scoring the goal, and all the all his teammates are delighted for him. He will get great guidance as well. And to be honest with you, I know it's kind of harsh on Connolly to think of it in a way, but he can look at Aaron Connolly and see which way he's gone. And even seeing his interviews after his brilliant performances recently, and all the kind of accolades he's getting, he's not going to his head. He's very grounded. He's typical, isn't he? Just quite a nice lad, really. And I think as well where he's going to really be beneficial for us is his physical presence. He's a big lad, like he's an absolute unit, and he's so raw and young, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see how he gets on. But we have to be patient with him. Like a lot of people give Troy Parrott grief when he doesn't score, and we forget how young he was and how well they do play in fits to start. Sometimes might not get a run. The manager of Brighton could be under pressure, a relegation battle. Can he afford to play an 18-year-old? Probably not. So it's going to be very, very good to see how he's going to evolve within that squad. But he's getting there on merit. A quick question for you as well: what is special about his 2 recent goals? Who he scored them against?
Oh, Everton
was his first goal.
I was going to say because Duncan Ferguson played for Everton.
Two teams he scored against.
I'm not sure.
The two goalkeepers.
Rams, the 2 England goalkeepers.
Two England goalkeepers. So if he keeps doing that, we'll be very, very happy.
Yeah. Can I just say quickly, lads? Martin, just you touched on Aaron Connolly, and you touched on him looking at Aaron Connolly and saying, I don't want to go down that route. I can guarantee you, lads, staff at Brighton have said, don't go down the same route as Aaron Connolly. I can almost guarantee you. that Zebri, or whatever his name is, the Brighton manager, or coaches around, even youth coaches, or even his dad Barry, I can guarantee you they've said, look at Aaron Connolly, do not go down that route. Guarantee you.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's like, here's son, arm around his shoulder. Here's what not to do.
Yeah.
I don't mean to sound mean towards Aaron. I really do hope it works out for him. But yeah, look, I mean, we need young players coming through. We need quality players coming through. And he just seems like he's got it. But there is a rawness to him. I'm not going to get too excited. But I'm delighted for the lad. But let's put the brakes on here a little bit. He scored in a 4-2 against Arsenal. Arsenal were out of sight, were 4-1 up, and it was a look. Don't get me wrong, great finish, but it was a mistake. It was an absolute howler. But he pounced on it, and he did everything he was supposed to do in that situation. And Everton are rubbish. So let's see what. But if he keeps doing it, then we're laughing. But let's just see how it goes. But we don't.
It'd be interesting, where Stephen Kenny does now in March, whether he brings him in or not. And it depends whether we're going to kind of stay, are we going to say, look, he's actually going to play in the under-21 campaign? I think he'll be brought into the senior squad again. I think he can't not do it. I don't think he can't do it.
If he's banging him in, he keeps, or just getting like every second or third game, getting a goal here and there, and he's on form. Yeah, but by all means, bring him in. He won't be bullied. He is a unit. I mean, he made it a bit like Norman Whiteside, isn't he? Hope he doesn't go down his path. But he's
winning their Cups.
Yeah, that's all he won.
Yeah, but still.
Now, you know what I mean? Like finished by his mid late 20s, or getting fired on the the match?
Injuries. He had terrible injuries, Norman, to be fair.
No, he did, but
he was a freak though. He does, you're right. He does remind me of him though.
Yeah,
his size, physical size, and not being bullied by seasoned pros, basically smashing people because he's fearless.
He is fearless.
I hope he doesn't get overcoached as well. That's the thing. Let him have that rawness and
injured from being fearless as well. That's another thing. But listen, Evan, we're cheering for you. Aaron as well. We're cheering for you, but we'll see how those guys get on. Let's move it on, lads. Let's move it on to the social media watch. And we're going to get to some of your comments. I see them coming in, guys. You still got a bit of time to have your say. We'll get to those questions. Leave a comment and get involved as always. So, chaps, over to, since the relaunch of the Green Machine Live, social media watch. Oh, love that. Right, a little bit of somber news, actually. Some very sad news came out during the week. Jenny Wiley, one of the good guys of football, loved all around the world, and that was the passing of Gianluca Vialli. And here is another fabulous footballer, Martin's favourite, John Aldrich paying homage to the genius that he called Gianluca Vialli. Just going to read out the tweet here, lads. What another sad day for football. Another genius passes away. Vialli, what a player, what a gent. This photo is from my utmost respect. My most prized shirt swap my career, Italy v Oro, when he was number 1 in world football. Never forgotten, a true great. God bless, RIP, you'll never walk alone. That he's also, for our audio listeners, is sporting a shirt that he got from Vialli during the 1992 US Cup when they beat us 2-0, which actually, would it be tasteless to plug our tournament episode?
Well, we're shameless, Dave, so
we are shameless, but we are going to be talking about that anyway. And I'll come and sorry, that is bad, isn't it? Oh my God, it's gone to my head already. But yeah, what a player Gianluca Vialli was, lads. I mean, very quickly, he, Chelsea manager, he won all those trophies. He was such a lovely guy, wasn't he? So likable.
Yeah, you haven't heard a bad story about him. It reminds me actually of when Ray Wilkins passed away. Chelsea aren't the most popular club in the world, but they've had 2 fantastic legends who played for them and even involved with the management of them. And you hear some amazing stories of him, how well he treated people, understood them, had time for like the lowest kind of personnel in a way, or what you would perceive to be the lowest personnel, like kit men and stuff. Some fantastic stories, very, very generous. I mean, he had a very privileged upbringing, Vialli, but you wouldn't really know that with how he treated people. And a fantastic footballer, ultimately. Won European Cups, Europa League, the knee one, I think. And, just a fantastic career. And I know a lot of other people have said about it. He was part of the backroom staff with Italy in Euro 2020 when they won it. And, it's fantastic to see him with Mancini then celebrating the win.
Yeah.
And, I think we can learn an awful lot from being kind of decent to people. For whatever superstar you can be, he is not anyone saying a bad word about him, to be honest.
Well, I think I lead it by example. I haven't treated you guys differently since my superstardom. Anyway, we're moving on. Well, I'll try not to treat you differently. Let you carry my bags or whatever. Anyway, your mate, oh God, a guy called M at M_United Red for our audio listeners, shared a picture of Roy Keane with his tash. Roy Keane looks like he wants pics of Spider-Man on his desk by noon. So Jimmy Jameson, was it? Is that the guy?
James Jameson?
James Jameson, yeah.
I don't know. No, I can't remember. Anyway, fantastic tash. Martin, keep the Kleenex at the ready.
I want to see your hands, Martin. Show me your hands. What are you doing with your hands right now? Hey.
I was actually at Old Trafford the other night, and I did go past security, and they said it was where cars were driving in, and it was near the media section. I wasn't part of the media, of course, but at this particular game, and no lanyard on. Here he goes. He's going to pull out the lanyard. Here it comes. Dave loves the lanyard. But yeah, one of them actually was. I could hear him over saying, I didn't even recognise him coming in there with the tash. So yeah, Roy was there.
Smelt him.
I smelled
him. Yeah,
I sent him the love waves. But no, United fans were singing for him as well as usual. So yeah, I thought he was quite good, and the punditry have caught up with it.
Don't really have a lot to sing about at the moment, do you? Anyway, moving on. There's another picture here, actually. Somebody put Billy Connolly's there on Roy Keane a while back. Have a look at this, lads. That's amazing. David Stanley Wainwright, you genius. For those audio listeners, sorry. I mean, if you're listening to an audio, get on the YouTube channel. And yes, I'm gonna bloody, there we go. YouTube.com/ look, can't even speak, at Lansdowne Road -GM. Get on the YouTube channel. We've got loads more stuff coming up. But yes, that is bloody brilliant. I love it. He had the Tommy Tiernan show. I haven't seen it. I have no interest. It got panned, didn't it? I know we haven't watched it, but it got really, really panned, didn't by everyone.
Seen a few clips. It's a little bit bland. It's a perfect combination of people, and yeah, a little bit boring, a little bit underwhelming, bit cringe.
It would have been recorded ages ago, though. I'll give the benefit of that.
Yeah, he's not tashing it, so yeah, it's from a while back. Yeah.
Fisherman's beard. Moving on, obviously another footballing legend we lost a couple of weeks ago, actually, arguably the greatest player of all time. Don't ask Martin, because obviously it's Roy Keane. But Pele. FIFA will ask every country in the world to name a stadium after Pele. The president of FIFA, Gianni Infantino.
Creep.
Bellend confirmed his plans to reporters in Brazil. Okay.
It has to be Sempele Park down in Tip.
Give Bose 2 seconds. They already have a mural outside.
We have a mural, David. We have a mural. We're saving the planet. It's probably vegan paint as well.
It's like, what happens there in the boardroom? Like one of the members of the boardroom goes out and sees like a left-wing truck, goes out, oh, I'm going to support that.
In the boardroom, there's no chairs. You just, you sit, singing Kumbaya and doing finger paintings.
No comment. Obviously, lads, this is the return of the Green Machine Live, isn't it? We are back. We are back in full flow. Sundays, 9:30 every Sunday live. And we had a lot of people actually welcome us back with open arms, all except for one chap. Here's our own little bit of social media. We know what's coming. Speaking of creeps and bellends, Neil Jewson from Wales. So I put up, for audio listeners, I put up a post saying, we're back, we're live, give us a shout. And Neil Jewson responded to it. If you're interested in why Kenny is king, Kenny Dalglish, women's football is the best thing since penicillin. John Delaney is the devil incarnate, what he is. Head of FIFA, allegedly. Head of FIFA took at selfie bedside, or beside Pele's castle, Jesus, which he did actually. And of course, other lazy arse journalism, then click on above. And then of course I responded, Neil Jewson, or if you want to shout at clouds, be like this fella. He's our very own troll, our very own cloud shouter. Him and Cormac Grimes, actually. We need to get Cormac on this. Cormac, if you watch, give us a follow on the YouTube. We'll talk, babes. So yeah, there you go. Well, lads, we ready for our first round of questions?
Let's do it.
Let's do it to it. We've got a lot of goodwill here. Paul Culleton on the YouTube channel. Good to have you back, lads. Love the show. Thank you, Paul. Well, chaps, Chocolate Rain, thank you very much. Very well. Kevin Devlin, evening all. Evening to you, Kevin. Hope you're enjoying it on our Facebook channel. Now, after all that backslapping, here are the questions. Paul Culleton on YouTube. Think the Euro Under-21 qualifying draw is on next month. Just wondering if you guys think Jim Crawford should try and recruit a few old players from the campaign, the likes of Liam Delap, Louis Barry. Well, Nick, you're such a massive Jim Crawford fan. I think you should answer this one.
Look, depth, so important. Look at Morocco. I know it's senior, but at under-21 level, improve the depth. Liam Delap, I don't know if we're going to get him. Who's the other one? Louis Barry. Louis Barry, we might get. He's with MK Dons at the moment. I think he's with Villa. He's on loan at MK Dons. There's a few lads. Dennis Kirkin's another one. I mean, I think he's more for senior level. So look, I was born in London. I'm half Portuguese. I'm half Irish. I understand the idea of dual nationality. Martin, you're the same. David, you're just a thoroughbred kind of runt, aren't you? But in
living in London,
yeah, living in London. But in all seriousness, look, as someone kind of in that position, it's a complex thing. I don't think we can dismiss these guys straight away. I think the more depth and the more competition for places, a senior level and an under-21 level, the better. So yeah, absolutely, he should go for them.
100%. Another question coming up here, Chris on our YouTube channel. I know Manning has been poor in the green jersey, but would you like to see him called up in March as a left back option if he keeps up the form? We don't exactly have much going on in that position. I think, Chris, it's fair to say that there's more chance of Stephen Kenny knocking on my door there and saying, get your boots on, Dave. We've got work to do, than Ryan Manning playing. I think that's right, Martin, isn't it? He hasn't got a prayer of getting in Ireland. I don't know what he's going to do, really.
No, I know. He's one that I think we do need to kind of have a look at. I think Stephen Kenny just does not seem a big fan of him for some reason. And he's been in and out with his form, but gets called up every now and again. Always kind of the extra man in the squad, but doesn't actually get a chance. And we've been calling out for him for a long time. And I don't know what more he can do to get in there, really.
No, he was probably one of our informed players going into the November games, and he didn't get picked.
100%.
So I think that says a lot.
Don't get me started in November games. Wasted opportunity. Paul Colton again on our YouTube channel. Good to have you back, lads. Best luck to you in 2023 and all the viewers and listeners around the globe. Hopefully we'll qualify for the Euros this year and the women will have a good World Cup in Oz too. When is that World Cup, Nick?
August.
Looking forward to that. Kieran Boyle. Hello, Kieran. Watching us in Florida. How are you doing? Lads, on our Facebook channel. Let's get down to brass tacks. Hashtag away to Jesus with Castori. That Wolves jersey in the upside down crest was only. Did you guys see that? He's going around the upside. Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
I did actually share that picture. I should have got that. Didn't know, Kieran, that you were going to ask that question. Go on, Martin.
I was going to come in there. I don't know. Quickly. I didn't bother looking into it. But Castori, I think he's a part investor in them. Mike Ashley.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. So look, this deal is a bit kind of wrong in many ways. This is an FAI deal, probably to sort out that loan, kind of owing them money, probably. That's been done behind the back, and that I think undermines some of the good work the FAI have been doing. And I think there should be more questions asked of that if that is the case.
Okay, fair enough. Chris on YouTube, every Irish fan are in the right to criticise Connolly. He's a professional baller and gets paid a lot of money to do so. He's not immune to criticism, just like anyone in their job. Archduke 8199. Connolly seems more interested in his tattoos than getting his head down and working hard at the game. Oh my God. Yeah, he actually got the picture, didn't he? Of his unbelievable. Kieran O'Shea, what's the story with the Castori deal? I think you covered that there, Martin, didn't you? Basically, we reckon it's very quickly. We've got a couple of seconds left.
Yeah, it's not been announced though, and this is kind of a bit worrying. I think the fact they haven't really formally announced it, and they're probably maybe trying to wait on a kit sponsor as well to do it. But yeah, it's a bit of a worry that it's going on so long.
Yeah.
If you don't like the Castori jerseys, though, you might like ours.
Yeah, they will be. They will be available soon. Last comment, Paul Culleton on our YouTube channel again. Great to hear from you again, Paul. Great to hear from a lot of you guys. Also, just a quick one relating back to the under-21s. Nick mentioned the Toulon tournament. Surely Jim Cropper should be trying to get us into the tournament this summer of 2023. Very quickly on that, Nick, we've got about 30 seconds.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, look at how many players played in that Toulon competition and are playing senior now. I mean, Balumbi, Ida, Darrell O'Shea as well. I think Nathan Collins might have been there. I'm not 100% sure. Queven Kelleher as well. So yeah, absolutely. It's a great springboard for the younger lads to progress onto senior level and get a bit of tournament experience.
100%. We're going to leave it there for the comments. Guys, thank you so much for your comments, by the way. Keep them coming in. We might get back to them next week. We will be back anyway. We want to make this as fan-friendly as possible. But we're going to move on to my little favourite of this particular show. And it's This Week Back in the Day. So, lads, we're going to talk a little bit, very quickly, about a certain topic. Those of you unaware of this, we basically pick a topic from either this day or this particular week behind us to this day, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? I'm not making a lot of sense there, but whatever. Anyway, so on this day, back in 1982, the Irish football team, the boys in green, learned who they were going to play in the Euro 84 qualifiers. This before Jack. This was Owen Hand in charge. And have a look at this for a group, lads. Only one qualifier, by the way. Group 7. Spain, Netherlands, Republic of Ireland, third seeds, Iceland and Malta. Owen Hand did say this, good God, don't talk to me about the look of the Irish. And he said some other things as well. That is a bad group, lads, isn't it? I mean,
unluckiest Irish manager of all time, wasn't he? And I think that just kind of epitomizes it.
On top of the Spain 82 qualifier when we were robbed in Brussels in 81. We will cover that at some point. God almighty. Actually, do you want to know how that group table? Will we have a look at a group table?
Yeah, I do.
It's from Wikipedia. It has the crap graphics. If you're watching, I just can't be arsed. It's very difficult to do a league table on that. So as you can imagine, really, it's sort of... Actually, hold on. I've just realized that actually finished the exact same way it was drawn out.
Yeah, UEFA conspiracy.
Spain on top. They had more goals, 13 points. Netherlands 13 points. Back then it was 2 points for a win. Ireland back with 9 points. Iceland 3, Malta 2. Ireland lost 3 games, won 4, drew 1. Spain and Netherlands. Basically, 1-6 each, drew 1, lost 1. Some results there, chaps, from that. Our biggest win ever was against Malta, 8-0 in that. I think Lawrenson got his first goal for that. Could be mistaken. We threw away. We were 2-0 up against Netherlands at Dalymount Park. We threw it away, and they got back to 3-2. Spain hammered Malta 12-1. That's gas. We lost to Spain 2-0. We beat Malta 1-0 away. That wasn't good. Stapleton with a last-minute winner. Jesus Christ. And we drew 3-3 at home with Spain. And I'm trying to find the first game there. And we lost to Netherlands 2-1. So there you go, lads. That's a little bit of a history there. And another one of those this time next week. Well, lads, it's been fun. But that's what we have time for this week. And just be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and whenever you get your podcasts, and to follow us on Twitter for those of you listening back home. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, which is all in our bio. We want your followers, really. And we want your feedback, and give us a 5-star review or whatever it is on whatever you're looking at. Anyway, lads, we're going to... I made a balls of this outro, haven't I? Absolute mess of it. But we're going to finish it up with a very small tribute to the memory of the former Italy, Sampdoria, Juventus, and Chelsea player-manager, Gianluca Vialli. So, guys, thank you very much for listening. We'll see you again next week.